Hello everybody and welcome back again to another video, and today I came up with something a little different and thought I'd practice a little bit of like digital drawing, or not even like practice, but I remember there was a time where I'd do this literally just to distract myself or for fun, where I would just draw random squiggles. And yeah, for the first drawing, I guess I was going trying to do, yeah, let's ignore that. But I was trying to do that water rippling thing, or when you have just water, and thought if I could just freestyle it, and I think it worked out pretty well. And yeah, I think this video kind of demonstrates how, if sort of the ins and outs a little bit, it's very easy to digitally draw, not digitally draw, but it depends of course what you're drawing. But what I was going to say, these types of drawings are actually easier than one would think. They're not that hard to do, ironically enough. For me, sometimes I still struggle with, how do I put this, with the different effects. Or for example, in this case right here, I have to get out the keyboard. I thought about using my regular keyboard, but then sometimes that's in the way, for me with the drawing, and so I put it away. Yeah, this we're just gonna ignore. I was trying to be creative and thought, oh, maybe if I add something and it looks horrible, just leave it as it is, and that's what I did, thank God. So that's the first one, and we're gonna go right to the next one. This was based off of something that I saw, which it's kind of like a field, but multi-level, if that makes sense, like a hill or something, through using a certain type of shading. I don't know why. I personally, of all the ones that I did in that session, this one is the one that I like the least. I don't know, it just didn't work out the way. You can see I'm contemplating which color fits it. I don't know, my least favorite. And then I try to add some flowers, and it's okay, whatever. It's not phenomenal. I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. I don't know, it just upset me. I'm it doesn't, something's up here. Maybe it's also the color of green, the shade of green that I chose. And here you can see me trying to remove all of this stuff again. But yeah, just adding a little bit of grass and flowers then, which again is quite simple thanks to the fill-in tool, but the effect that it was supposed to give, it wasn't giving. So yeah, oh well. But with the exception of this one, I'm very happy with all of the other ones that I did. They were very simple, fun designs. For me, it's really just about the getting my brain to shut off, I guess, to relax and just draw something that is satisfying to watch, which this was not quite the case. The colors are just not nice, I feel like. But I continued anyways. And yeah, I have a feeling that, maybe, I don't know if I'm gonna add part 1 in the title, or session 1, but I think I'm definitely gonna not really make a series, but there's gonna be multiple videos of that kind, because as you can tell, it doesn't take very long, even if I struggle, or my software doesn't the frustration, I'm why does it not work? But yeah, besides that, it's actually very quickly and doesn't take a lot of time, or especially those types of designs. So I'm probably gonna continue doing this, filming it once in a while. And here's my, I guess, second to least favorite, if that makes sense. It definitely was like, I think it's also because the lines are very squiggly because I didn't use a certain effect that you can like, I don't forgot what it's called, but basically like I guess like a stabilizer, like for the pen, so you know your lines are more stable and not like you would actually like draw them, because they're obviously not perfect, so it helps a little bit. But yeah, that's the first one. Pretty cool, and I guess that's basically the direction that we're going in, just with different colors, different angles. For me, I just really enjoy it because it's nice for, again, you can just do it and you're happy. It's like, I guess maybe like a serotonin boost because it's easy to do and nice to look at. So yeah, there we go. This is like the red, like a red version of it. You will see me going back to that one in the center again because I wasn't very happy with the shading. As you can see here, I wasn't too happy, but yeah, then that happened. Yeah, and then I just went all the way back and did it again. Whatever I just said about it, oh, you know, it's so rewarding and simple and easy. Yeah, well, but yeah, again, it's very satisfying to look at, very easy. So, you know, if you ever, like, I guess, feel stressed out and you're like, oh, I want something, like, just, you know, not to put in a lot of effort, that's the thing to do. It's like literally just squiggles. Basically, I mean, what's also great, you can like practice like layers, for me especially, because my brain somehow has a hard time with, you know, when it comes to digital drawing, that, you know, you have the different layers and then I forget, and in this case like the layers is the whole point. So you basically start from the top layer with, or at least the way that I do it is that I start with the top layer with the lightest color, and then I go down to the deeper layers and have the same color that gets deeper and deeper and darker in tone. And yeah, that would be, I think we're almost finished, but I think, yeah, that's the next one. Also looks really nice and cool. I like the colors on this one for sure, and the different shapes. I wanted to go for sort of like a, not like a valley, but like, you know, when you have like this, I think it's a valley, not a valley, like a canyon. Maybe that's the word I was looking for, but yeah. Here we're going in with, I guess, the purple version, and we're trying like a vertical and going from, oh my god, we're going from right to left. There we go. My god. Why do I still struggle with this? But, you know, just trying a few different things. But as you can see, in terms of the layers, it's always the same thing. Just a few squills is really nice and relaxing. And it's kind of giving, you know, like those Pinterest pictures, or like, I don't know, Google, like those sort of illustrations, I guess. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out, I think there's, after this, there's two more, one of which I really enjoyed. Like the next one is gonna be real cool, but this is, you know, the finished one in purple. Also really nice to look at, but the next one I really like. It's like in blue and kind of like a dark hole, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it, but, you know, just having a little bit of fun with it. And yeah, I guess the reason why I enjoy this especially is because it's just satisfying, not only to look at but to do. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it's not. I guess it's also kind of fun to know, you know. I think I've seen like people, you know, when they like sell digital art or like on Adobe, and I'm like, with things like these, they're like very simple to make. You can literally see like it's not that hard, and you know, you don't need a lot of like artistic talent or amazing line work. Like I think anybody could do this, so I think it's interesting to know that, you know, was there are like sort of certain art, like of course it's worth, in like if you buy art that there's a certain price, but it always depends, I feel like, because this is very simple. It looks really cool, but it's actually simpler than one might think. So that is this one, and just gonna open up the next one. I think, is it gonna be the green? I'm not sure. I forgot. I think it's another green one. Perhaps redeeming myself. Oh yeah. Interesting. Why am I starting with a base layer? I kind of forgot. I literally forgot the last one. I guess we're gonna let ourselves be surprised, because I forgot. Oh yeah. It's something completely different, yes. Because I basically tried to redeem my first, like, the other green one. So this is basically some lily pads on a pond. Very simple, but yeah. It's kind of funny because here it's just, you know, the lily pads on like a green background, and later on I'm like, I'm not very happy, it doesn't look like water, so I basically use the same effect that I used on the very first one, you know, with the water rippling effect, you know, that it makes it look like water. So you can see me adding some layers, and why does it look like it's pink instead of white? I don't know what was happening here. But yeah, I was again trying out some different things, and I basically did it, like I did the same thing but in different order, and also something, you know, to remind yourself of is that, for example, just because the line visually ends behind the lily pad, if it's on a different layer it doesn't end, so it's open, and we're gonna see very soon that I, you know, with especially like with filling in these like green spots, that it took me a really hard time like to find the ones that weren't like finished all the way, and I could swear like it was driving me nuts, because you can see how many times I'm checking, like it has to work, right? And then already here it's like freezing, like, oh no. And then it happens. Like, it's almost like I know what is happening, but I'm like, I just checked. Like, it should be like closed off and finished when it's like off screen, but then it shows me that it's not off screen. Like, I felt like I was gaslit by my own software. I'm like, how many times am I supposed to trace like the same shape and close it off? And here I can see again, yeah, it doesn't work out. Normally when like it freezes, you already know it's coloring in the whole thing because it takes longer. I'm just like, oh no. It's so funny to look at. Oh, there it works finally. And yeah, there we go. That would be it for today. I hope you thought it was really relaxing, satisfying to look at Eve. And until next time, bye.